So what is loops and when do we use loops is the question. See, we use loops when we want to execute same statement many times. So whenever we have to execute same statement many times, we use loops. So I'll give an example. Say now I want to print welcome 5 times like this. So to print welcome 5 times like this, I can type this print welcome 5 times. But do you think this is efficient way of coding? Say now I want to execute 100 times. So will you type this 100 times? No. So in coding you will get scenario situation where you have to execute some statements more number of times. So you can't write this code that many number of times. It will be code redundant. So at that situation we will use loops. Next, types of loops. We have two types of loop. First one is for loop and second one is while loop. Now, the question that arises, when do we use while loop and when do we use for loop? See, we use while loop when we don't know how many times we have to execute those statements. So when we don't know how many times we should iterate those statements, we will use while loop. To give example, say I will tell user to enter his age. If user enter invalid age, we should tell him to enter valid age. But here we don't know how many times he might enter invalid age. He might enter 1 time, 2 times, 10 times or more than that. So since we don't know how many times he will enter invalid age, we will use while loop in this situation. And next, we will use for loop when we know how many times we should run the loop. So when we know how many times we should iterate, we will use for loop. To give example, say I want to print hello world 5 times. Here I know I have to print for 5 times. So I will use for loop. This is the syntax for while loop. First we have while keyword, then we have expression. Then we have colon. We use colon because below this we have some set of statements that we have to execute. Now this is the flow chart. See, we have condition. And when this condition is true, it will execute body of while. And remember, this body of while will keep on executing until this condition is true. And when condition is false, it will come out and stop. Syntax for loop. First we have for keyword, then iter in sequence. And here sequence can be list, it can be tuple, string and so on. So the values that is present inside the sequence will be stored in iter variable. And then we have body of for, in which we have set of statements that have to be executed. Now remember, before it execute the body, that is before it execute the statements, it will first store the values that is present inside the sequence in iter variable. And here to give example, sequence can be list. So the values present in the list, it will be stored in iter variable one by one. It will start from index 0 and it will go till last index. This is the flow chart. So we know in for loop how many times we execute this statement. That is how many times we have to iterate the body. So first it will check whether the last element is reached. If last element is reached, then it will stop. If it is not reached, then it will keep on executing the body of for loop until last element is reached. So when it reach the last element, it will exit the loop. Here I have printed hello world one time. Say if I want to print hello world many times. So if I want to repeatedly execute some statements, then we will use loop. So here we will use for loop because we know how many number of time we have to execute. So here I want to print hello world for 5 times. So I know how many number of times I have to print this statement. So I will use for loop. I will use while loop when I don't know how many number of times I have to execute. So I'll use range and I'll pass 5 because I want to print hello world for 5 times. So this is how it prints hello world. Next scenario is we have to ask the user to enter age, and if user enter invalid age, then we have to tell him to enter valid age. So now we don't know how many times user will enter invalid age. First time he might enter invalid age, so we have to tell him to enter valid age. Again he might enter invalid age. So we don't know how many number of times he will be entering invalid age. So each time when user enter invalid age, we have to tell him to enter valid age. And since we don't know how many times user will enter invalid age, we will put this inside while loop. Now first I have to take input from the user. And to take input from the user, we have method called input method. So this method will take input from the user. So I will tell enter your age. So whatever age user is entering, I will store it in variable age. And now I will then print age. So first it will ask to enter age. Say I will enter age as 7. So now it will print that age. The age is 7. But here you can notice that 7 is put inside single quotes, which means 7 is string. But I didn't enter 7 as string. I entered number, but it is printing it as string. It is because this input method, whatever you enter, it will take it as string. But we want it to take it as int. So we will convert it to int by using int method. Now if I print, you can see it is converted to integer. Next, if user enter invalid age, then we should tell him to enter valid age. So we will put this inside while. As we don't know how many times he might enter invalid age, and each time when he enter invalid age, we should tell him to enter valid age. So we will use while. So while age is not in the range 1, 100. So if user enter the age which is not lying in this range, then we will print invalid age. And then we will tell him to enter the valid age. And we use input method. You know, input method is user to take the input from the user. So we will again tell him to enter the valid age. And whatever age he is entering, we will again store it in variable age. Remember, these two statements will be executed until user enter valid age. If user is not entering valid age, if it is not lying in this range, then these two statements will keep on executing. So I'll show you that. Now, moving ahead, if user enters valid age, if this age is in range 1, 100, if it is in this range, then we will print valid age. Now let me run and show you. Sorry, it's not isn't, it's just n. Oh, so many mistakes. Okay, it's colon. So now I will enter age. So if I enter invalid age, what happens we'll see. So it is telling invalid age, enter valid age. So again I will enter invalid age. Again I'll get same message. So again if I enter invalid age, again same message. Now I'll enter valid age. where the value is lying between 1 to 100, say 99. So now it is printing valid age. Now I hope you understood when to use while loop. We use while loop when we don't know how many number of times statement has to be executed. So here we don't know how many times user might enter invalid age. So whenever he enter invalid age, each time these two statements will be executed, where it will print invalid age and tell the user to enter valid age. So this was just scenario which I took to make you understand while loop. Now I'll start for loop and explain the concepts that comes under for loop. We know that for loop is used for iterating over a sequence. And sequence can be list, it can be tuple, dictionary, set or string. And unlike other programming language, it is more like an iterator. Here we have sequence and sequence we have here is list. And now let's print the values that is present inside this list using for loop. So first we tell for keyword, then we have to tell the variable name. So iter is variable name. So variable name can be anything in sequence. So here we have to tell the sequence name. So what is the sequence name? It is colors. So I will tell colors. Then inside this we have to put the statements that we have to execute. Here I just have to print the values. So I will tell print x. So what will happen here is it will start from index 0 and it will iterate till last index and it will print the values one by one. So here x will first get the value present at index 0, that is red, and then it will print red, then it will move on to next value and get that value that is blue and print it, and it will go to next. So it will go till end and print all the values one by one. Now if I run, you can see we got all the values that is present inside list. It has printed one by one. Next is break statement. Now when do we use break statement is the question. Say in this list in which we have values red, blue, pink, black, white, I just want to print the values until black. After that I don't want to print. So at this situation we will use break statement. So using break statement we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the values. Correct. So in this, I don't want it to loop through all the values. I just want it to loop until black. So at this situation, we will use break statement. Now I'll copy same previous code. And now I want it to loop till pink. I don't want it to print black and white. For that, I have to give condition. That is, if x value is equal to pink, then it has to break. So I will tell break. Now if I run, it will loop until pink. It won't loop black and white, and you can see that. See, we got output only red, blue and pink. So using break statement, we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the values. So moving ahead, let's look into continue statement. Using continue statement, we can stop current iteration of loop and we can continue with next. Which means, see here in this list, I don't want to print value pink, but I want to print the values which are present after that. At this situation, we will use continue. So I'll copy same code and I will show you. Now instead of break, I will use continue. So what this does is, when the value is pink, it will not print it, but it will print the next values. So that's what it does. So now if I run, oh, you can even see pink is printed. Why is this happening? See, there is small change that you should do. This printing X, you have to put after continue. Outside means you have to put this print statement in else part. So if x value is equal to pink, then it will stop the current iteration and it comes to else part and print. Now if I run, you can see pink is not printed, but the values present after pink, that is black and white, is printed. Next concept is nested loop. Nested loop means we have loop inside another loop. So here I have taken two lists. Now let's apply nested loop here. So first let's use for loop for first list. Say for x, that is the variable name, in names. So your names is the sequence name, that is first list name. And then inside this, I will use one more for loop for second list, that is colors. So for y in colors. Now I will print x comma y. Now if I run, this is the output we get. So inner loop is executed one time for each iteration of outer loop. You can see we got Raj red, Raj green, Raj pink, then Asha red, Asha green, Asha pink. So this is how nested loop works. Next is pass statement. If loop does not have any content, then to avoid error, we use pass statement. To give example, I have for loop and inside this I don't have any content. So if I run, we get error, that is unexpected end of file while parsing. So to avoid this error, we just have to use pass. So now if I run, I don't get any error. This was my video on Python loops where I covered for loop. In my next video, I will continue with while loop. So if you like my video, do like and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on bell icon. Thank you.